We welcome you back to Open Court. Because I am a man of my word, I will start this segment by going to Greg Anthony so he can unload his wealth of knowledge on the Indiana Pacers. But really, it was a carryover, 90s and 2000s. They made the finals in 2000. Reggie Miller, obviously the centerpiece of that team. So make your case for best team to not win it for Indiana.
I think, again, it goes, sometimes we focus more on the talent than the team. And a lot of the best teams weren't the most talented. And I would say the Pacers, the Bucks, Reggie Miller is a Hall of Fame player, but he played with not only great players, but guys who appreciated their role. They ain't just understand, they appreciated their role. We had wars with the Pacers. I mean, first of all, Reggie, who I don't think gets enough credit, Reggie is one of the smartest, antagonizing basketball players that ever played. Like, he knew what buttons to push.
Or when to push you down.
And when to push you down. That's another good one. I like that one. But you got to get that team. And again, you don't often talk about them because they didn't have those superstars. Because even Reggie.
Man, they have a guy who's a referee now. Hayward.
Yeah, Hayward working.
Come on, man.
Wait.
You know they weren't superstars.
Hayward was
what
team
y'all talking about.
Hayward was
really trying to be honest. No, Hayward's a good guy.
But you know what it was?
They have superstars.
And you know what would have been tough?
The guy's a referee now.
See Webb, y'all would have.
That's never good,
in the regular season,
never good.
C. Webb's team would have killed him.
Kevin McKill's
probably would have killed him but then what happens when you get in the postseason? You got to play 7 times.
Yeah, but you got a lot of ifs. We didn't play them. We wouldn't have played them. They wasn't a team you ever thought was going to win the championship 1 year in 2000.
No, we played.
No, that's the question. I just want to keep it real.
Oh, you're talking about 2000. I'm going back to 90s. Like, for me in 2000, I'm with you. I didn't think the 2000 teams weren't as good.
So you thought in the 90s when Jordan was there?
No.
This guy's team, man, and I hate to be the bearer of a cloud, but if there wasn't a dishonest referee, there might be a different champion, man. This guy's team was incredible.
Fish don't believe. Fish not agreeing with you.
There's a
Hold on, let me hear
man.
from D. Let me hear D.
disagree
Fish.
with that. I agree with that. The fact that they may have been the best team to not win a ring in the 2000s, but I don't agree with one game changing the series.
But that one game, they were up. They were up in the series.
And going home to the best home court advantage. But we could talk about all that up all day because the fact is I didn't win, so we could be like, oh, it's the best team, and so yeah, I'm in the barbershop Hall of Fame. Hey, we almost put it there. But when we're talking about Indiana, and Reggie is definitely one of my favorite players, they weren't even close. Let's just be honest. On the scouting report, Steve, was y'all worried about it? You knew they were professional?
In the Eastern Conference,
no,
in the 90s, though, you were.
Their 2000 team.
Yeah.
Against Reggie's team. Which team is it going to be?
The teams in the 90s.
No,
I'm just saying. What's going on?
I'm saying the 2000 Pacers, I don't think was on that level.
We think 2000s, no, not the Pacers. But that's the team that went to the finals.
No, that team was not his best team. That's what I'm trying to
But they did go to the finals.
They went to the finals, but his 90s team...
Would they have beaten Chris Webber's team?
Man, I don't know. The 90s team...
Well, let me say straight for you.
Let me say this.
Go back and look at the games.
My 90s Knicks teams would have beat his team.
First of all...
Our 90s Knicks team.
Now we're about to really get a good show.
We just say
I would say that. Let's go. I like this.
He's supposed to say the same thing.
Have we been spinning our wheels for 45 minutes? No.
I guess what I'm saying.
Hey, Chris, don't bite your tongue. Would y'all have beat the Pacers or would y'all have beat the Knicks?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have moved the center of a lot. We would have definitely beat the Knicks. We beat the Knicks at my time in Washington when I had a hurt shoulder. We were not scared of the Knicks.
Beat us when?
We were not scared of
in a game?
We were not scared
Everybody
of the
get beaten again.
The Knicks were really good, but we didn't play against y'all, so we shouldn't get in this argument. What I'm saying is Indiana wasn't that good.
I
love your analytic skills, but to go back in time and say they were that good when they didn't make the finals in the 90s, then to go back and say they was that good in 2000 because Jay and Reggie did work. I think they were the first players to have 40 in there, but as a big man. Rick Smith couldn't get out. We'd kill him on the pick and roll. Dell Davis couldn't shoot. We fouled him and like the Davis boys, lunch meat. So that's all I can say.
Lunch meat.
We knew if you took away Reggie, at the end of the day, they couldn't go nowhere else. And I think that was the 90s.
You face guard
problem.
Reggie.
That
If
was
you
the-
face guard Reggie, go under the screen on Mark Jackson.
We would say that about Jordan. If we take away Jordan,
No, you can. No, it's
We can-
different.
we
Come
can
on,
get the-
different
What happened when y'all
animal.
took away
Different
Jordan?
animal. You
Oh,
couldn't
bad.
do-
They still won a championship.
we had a lot of success against Jordan. I mean, if you go look at statistics, he'd have a lot of 10 for 35 games against us, bro.
But they won? They win? Was
They
success
won
relative?
some. He won six.
What happened was...
He won 6.
No, I'm trying to make a point.
won.
He said they beat them. They also beat y'all in the playoffs. Am I okay?
our first year.
But he's not claiming to be the best team in the 2000s.
No.
He's claiming to be the
Yo,
best.
I give them 2000. You ain't even listening to me. I said the 90s. The
But we in the
2000 team.
2000s.
Yeah, but he said I got to talk about the 90s. Damn. So I went back to the 90s.
Don't blame me for your lack of an argument.
The conversation in the 2000s is between Chris's teams and the Suns teams. The 2000s Pacers were more like the tail end of the great teams of the 90s.
Yeah, I agree.
They made it to the finals against the Lakers in 2000.
Got some
Lost. No, actually, that was the best series that we actually played against an Eastern Conference
So
team.
you played against both teams, C. Webb's team or the Pacer team. Which was more difficult for y'all to play?
Oh, C. Webb's team.
Yeah, the Kings. That's I've been saying
but how
the Kings teams of the 2000s were probably the best team to not win it. So the conversation is between the Suns 2000s that didn't win and Chris's team
And so,
2000s
same
that
question
didn't
that
win.
Kenny just posed to you about those two teams.
I mean,
like
we had more difficulty with Chris's teams than the Suns teams, but the Suns teams own the Lakers teams that I wouldn't own.
Y'all team was good because y'all executed. You, everyone else. Y'all did your job. But the reason why I do think that we are the best team, not because of me, not because of Peja, Bibby, anything, but because they had 2 Hall of Famers and 1 Hall of Famer on the bench.
They were unique in how they played.
Yeah,
It made them very hard to guard. Like some of those unique teams, like you can play the cookie cutter teams. They all do the same thing, just have better players.
They played a lot like the Warriors play.
Yeah, these guys were unique. And I tell you
Except
what,
their bigs are better.
they were hard to play against. I was managing in Minnesota. And you look at them and say, boy, we got to match up with these guys and how they play. It was like you'd play 4 or 5 games, then you'd play them, and you go, man, that's a whole different game. I thought they had the most entertaining brand of basketball. I loved watching their team play. I always rooted for them because I just loved how the ball moved and everything.
And Chris hit it on the head, though, about that. At the end of the day, too, that's another situation where I think you're Hall of Famer, but they had the 2 best players on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, like that makes a.
Well,
And
I don't
their
think
others were focused.
but
too.
also
and
Chris,
to go with that, but then because when you got those 2 best
they had
players,
enough grimy players.
everybody's
I had
gotta
enough grimy players to
compensate.
me.
Hey, sometimes you got to get down nasty and dirty and be all grimy, and you just got to do it, and you got to enjoy it. And I've often said certain players can kind of get to that level, and other players are like, hey, that's just too much for me, man.
Yeah, that's
what
different.
it comes down to.
Different about our league now, to me, is that, in my opinion, and I know Shaq says it to others all the time when he's around, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Brian Shaw's, Ron Harper's, like, guys were okay, and you said it, not just like, I'll accept this role because, like, that's what they told me I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't wait till I get a different role at some other point. Like, we literally embraced the fact that these 2 dudes was probably the baddest 2 dudes on the court, and it was our job to do everything else necessary.
We feared y'all just as much as those.
No,
two.
but
As a
what
collective.
made it easy for me, Vernon, Mario, Sam Cassell, I never, and this is God's honest truth, I've never heard Hakeem say, my team.
My guys.
Or my guys. Never. So I never felt like he was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? I'm not your guy. I'm not like, this is Rockets. It's not. So I never felt alienated. I always felt, and he made me feel inclusive, even though he was the best scorer, the best defender, and the best player. But he made me feel inclusive in a way that I never questioned that.
I think that's an excellent point. Coming up next on my show is